Hello everybody, Lord Almighty here. Today is Sunday, November 5th, 2023, and when I was thinking about where to go fishing today, I took a look at water temperatures in the river, and I found that they are just starting to creep below 50 degrees. And when that happens, bass fishing is pretty much a no-go. I mean, I'm sure there's a few wintering holes where you could get some, but to be honest, I haven't found them. So instead, I decided to turn my attention to trout. So I was originally, well, I say originally, I might still go to another spot for trout, but on the way there, I decided to stop at this place, which usually has some trout in it. And I'm gonna start by throwing around the little crappie tube, and we'll see if anybody's home. I say that there are normally trout here, but the problem with this spot is they don't always bite. This is a community hole, and these fish get hit pretty hard. Plus, we've got low clear water today, which makes it challenging for any fish, but trout especially. So I've got a couple of things working against me today. Another thing I'm noticing right off the bat is so many leaves. Those might wind up being a problem today. I might be limited with what I can use. I say that as right on cue, I hook a leaf. It's probably not going to be the last time that happens today. Oh, I was excited for a second. Thought I had one. Nope. It's another one of these. Lunker leaf though, look at that. Alright guys, no bites on that little tube jig, so I switched over to something else. I'm gonna throw around the Gulp Minnow under a float. This is not something I really use to target trout. I have caught trout on this before, but it's mostly been in lakes. So we'll see how it works in the river. Well guys, did not get any bites out of this pool. Honestly, it looks dead. Didn't see any trout, didn't see any bait, didn't even see any suckers or anything like that. Just absolutely nothing. So I'm guessing with this clear water and high sun, these fish are pretty tight to the bottom and they're not moving. Or could just be that this hole is not as chock full of trout as I thought it was. But regardless, time to move on. All right guys, well, here we are at the next spot. And as I walked down here, along the stream, I saw plenty of trout, and not only were they in the deep holes, but they were also in some spots in like less than a foot of water. So these fish are spread out, and if I thought that the water was low and clear at that last spot, this spot is about as low and clear as it gets. So these fish are going to be super spooky, so I'm going to have to make long casts, which is why I am starting out with this Panther Martin, which is pretty heavy, and I can cast it quite a distance. So the reason why I wanted to fish this creek today is because this creek flows into a reservoir, and there are big brown trout in the reservoir, and those brown trout will come up into this creek to spawn. So I imagine by now the trout are mostly done spawning. So what I'm hoping for is I'm hoping to come across some of those big spawned out brown trout that are hanging around in this creek and feeding up before they go back down into the reservoir. Oh, fish on. It's very small, whatever it is. I think that's a brown trout. Get in the net, buddy. Yep, that is a brown trout, all right. Oh wow, he's all tangled up here. All right, look at that. Little brownie. He ain't much, but you know what that means. I am not getting skunked today. And I caught my target species. Oh, fish on. What have I got here? I think this is another trout. That's another brown. It's a little bigger. And take a look at what I switched to. Little Gulp Minnow. That was my first cast with it. I didn't even start moving it. I just started reeling it in, and he already had it. And I knew that there was more fish in here because I walked past this before and I saw like half a dozen trout just milling around there. So decided to work this spot a little more thoroughly. Fish on. Think I might have found the juice, guys. What is this? This does not look like a brown. Oh no, it's a brown. I think. Yeah, that's a brown. It's just kind of washed out. It almost looks like a stocky. Look at that. But state doesn't stock browns anymore, so I don't know where that one came from. I'll take it though. Oh, fish on. Oh, that fish is a little bit bigger. Looks like another brown. That's another one of those kind of washed out looking browns. All right, kind of long and lean, but healthy looking fish. Well, I almost didn't bring the Gulp Minnows because I don't normally use them for trout fishing, but glad I threw them in my bag. They have been the MVP so far. Fish on. Woo! What have we here? Another brownie. This one's got good colors. Nice red spots. White line on the anal fin. Red on the adipose fin. That is a beautiful example of a wild brown, and even more so because I got him to hit. Oop, fish on. Guys, I think I might have discovered something. I mean, I fished for like an hour with a spinner and I got one. And I've been fishing for a half an hour with the Gulp Minnow and I've caught, what, 5 on it? I mean, they're not big, but most of the trout in here aren't very big. Oh, another fish. That's 3 out of this hole. Another brown. Whew, man. The Gulp Minnows are doing work today. This is fun. Oh, here we go. Wow. Get in the net. This is a whole lot of fun. Again, they're not big, but they don't need to be big to be fun. Fish on. Wow, he picked it up and he just took off with it. Ah, another brown. Oh, he's kind of squirmy. I'll just let him go. You've seen plenty of little brown trout today. I don't need to pose another one for you. Well, everybody, that is it for today, and that was a blast. I was worried that I was going to struggle today since we blanked at that first spot, and it was shaping up to be the same story here. But once I switched over to those little Gulp Minnows, it was literally like a switch was flipped and those fish just went absolutely bananas for it. I caught way more than I was expecting. Again, nothing big, but on light tackle, on a day when your expectations are kind of low, I had an awesome day. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next adventure.